So, looking at our categorical today, we are seeing that there is probably going to be a bigger severe threat of supercells popping up across parts of Oklahoma and Texas. And that includes later on tonight into tomorrow morning across Louisiana and Arkansas. The rest of those marginal areas are the best chance for those bigger thunderstorms. Now, we are definitely going to have some thunderstorms that are moving their way across the country, starting on the plains, and by tomorrow morning making their way clear to Pennsylvania. And so that's why we are seeing these multiple areas, and that's why there is such a big area, is because we're going to see the more severe supercells down in Texas and Oklahoma, but we will see the big lines of thunderstorms, not super severe thunderstorms, but lightning, thunder, heavy rainfall, all of that can be included up in the parts of the Midwest and Ohio Valley. A lot of this, of course, is going to be fed through that daytime convection, and looking at the temperatures, there is not a temperature in the country that we would call cooled. And I mean, some areas with elevation at the very top of a mountain, we could say that it's probably going to be colder than the ones down at ground level. But other than that, we are seeing extremely warm temperatures in parts of Texas. And we are seeing temperatures in Texas like what it is in the middle of July in Arizona. So it is going to be a very warm day for Texas. The rest of the country, any cooler temperatures are going to be brought thanks to that rain. But it's going to be expected in the 70s, 80s, and 90s across the rest of the nation. So getting right to the action in the afternoon, you can see that all of these storms are popping up right along the Mississippi River, and all of those are going to be heavy rainmakers. So a lot of rain, potentially some thunder with those northern storms, but most likely excessive rainfall is our biggest threat here. Looking back to the plains, a few pop-up cells, but this is the very beginning of them. Some doubt with what could potentially happen with these really before that mid-afternoon time. There's not really too big expectation for these supercells to form any earlier than the middle of your afternoon. So right where that dinner time would be is where we're seeing just before that, and then through that is where we're seeing some of these bigger storms start to form out over the Texas Panhandle and into parts of the Oklahoma Panhandle. We do see the cells that have collected in the Ohio Valley and the Midwest start to coalesce into one line right there, and that's going to be more of just rainfall. There's not expected that it's going to be weaker at the dinner time and after than what it was previously in the middle of the afternoon, because we are losing that daylight, and it is entering an area, especially in the Ohio Valley, where it has actually rained for most of the day. So it's going to be a lot of these repeating storms going to the same area. So that's why, even though we have a ton of this storm potential, we do not see any of them building, is because they are all going over the same area with rain that has already fallen. So we're not expecting any of these big pop-up storms. But back across Oklahoma and Texas, this is going to be more of an overnight threat. We are going to see some supercells pop up in central Texas a little bit earlier around dinner time, but our biggest threat looking at this is going to be pretty much midnight or later. We are seeing these storms. This scan was taken at roughly 10 p.m. Central Time. So looking at this is where what you can expect at 10 p.m. So potential for that Texas Panhandle and out there near Midland is where we could see this first supercells pop up, but then it's going to be more of an overnight threat. We will have supercells pop up during the day, but it looks like that bigger system might be moving through in the overnight hours, and that will affect potentially parts of Oklahoma City and then heading further east into Arkansas. So that does it for today's forecast. We hope to see you back in tomorrow's forecast, and if you're in that area of slight threat, we always remind you to be weather ready.